What's your sun sign? Everybody knows their sun sign, but do you know what it means? Today, fortunately for you, I have a guest that is going to reveal what your sun sign says about you. Today, everybody, I have a very special guest. She's coming on today, Astro-Numerology Reveal, for the very first time. I'm so excited to have her here. I'm so excited that she was able to come and help us out today. Please help me welcome Soul to Soul by Goddess to the stage. How you doing,
Hi,
Goddess?
hi, Kimberly. I'm so happy to be on Astro-Numerology Revealed. How are you?
I'm doing so fine. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. I love your energy. Wow. I like that. You must be a Leo.
Oh my goodness, Leo sun. How'd you know?
Wow. I can tell. I can tell, but you know, I love it. I love it.
What's your
Today,
sign?
hmm, I'm a
What's
son, I'm a Leo. I'm a Leo
that's
son.
I knew it. That's why we get along.
When did you first find out that you were a Leo?
Um, you know what? I found out when I was Leo, maybe about 10 years old. I found out I had a twin and we were both Leos. I was like, we're Leo twins. So
Two
yeah,
Leos growing up in the same house? Oh my
beautiful.
God.
I loved
That was always a lot of fun, I know.
it. It was, yes.
Wow.
Hmm.
But when you found out that you are a Leo, did you know what that means? Or did you just know you were a Leo?
A lot of people used to say, oh, Leos, they are attention oriented. They want to be all in the spotlight and they want attention. I'm like, you know what? Yeah, that's me. I love attention, but I also love love. And, Leo loves in the heart. So it was more of a internal understanding. But people were like, Leo this. But when I did my own research, I was like, I love this in me. Yeah.
I kind of understand that because like growing up, I
Hmm.
knew what my sun sign is only because my little cousin that actually acted like the big cousin. She knew what her sign was, and I did not know what mine was. And I asked her, and she said, "Oh, you're a Leo." And I
Hmm.
was like, "Wow, that's great." And I'm
Hmm.
thinking to myself, but didn't want to ask her, "What is a Leo?"
Mm.
But I didn't know what it was. And now, in hindsight, I can look back and those characteristics that I had and wondered what's all of this about was
Hmm.
really tied into that
Yeah.
Leo
Really
energy.
something to be proud of, right?
Yeah,
Exactly.
something to be proud of. Yep. But the reason why we're talking about astrology with Goddess today is because she is an astrologer. Today, I want her to tell you a little more about that. So, Goddess, can you just tell us what you do? Because I know you're multifaceted. I see you have quite a few things going on, but just give us some little highlights of what you do.
So my first love is astrology, but my second love is writing. I do write children's books. I am an oracle and a psychic. So mixing them all together, I would say that I am a multidimensional being. And we all are, but astrology is my love, and I can't wait to share all my this information about your sun sign with you.
Thank you. Thank you. What started this journey? Like when you were little, at that age of 10 to
Mhm.
12, did you say then, I'm going to start to learn more about this, or did it come later in life?
Um, You know what's funny, Kimberly? I kept seeing numbers and numbers and numbers, and I kept seeing my birthday. And every time I saw my birthday, 7/31, I just was so fascinated. So I got fascinated with numbers first. But then as put in my birth chart information, yes, as I got older, I was about 15, 14, 15. That's when I really got into astrology. And when I put my birth chart in, I started to see like lines and symbols, and I was like, this looks familiar, like this looks like something that I know, and then I just loved it, and I went in deeper and deeper. So it did start with numbers, and 731, that's what it started with when I was about 14 and 15.
14?
Yeah.
Wow.
hmm
I was an adult when I got to really, really.
Really? Into numerology?
Well, I picked up my first numerology book at 16, so the
Hmm.
interest was there, but the book that I picked up, it really was kind of hard for me to understand and grasp those concepts in the book. And I put it down, and years later, I started getting deeper into my spiritual journey. And then I ran into astrology and then numerology. And so it began to be a fascination to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was an adult because I grew up during a time and in an area where those things were not spoke of that
Mm,
much.
absolutely. Me,
Yeah.
it was almost like as soon as I saw signs and symbols and like synchronicities, that's when I knew like, something was calling me somewhere or something was familiar, you know. Yeah.
Wow, so it was pulling you.
Yeah.
You weren't able to stop. You just kept going.
I can't stop. I can't stop only because I feel as though it's a tool, Astrology
True.
is a tool that we must use. Numbers, synchronicities, these are tools that we must use and we're given. So yeah.
I definitely agree with that. Yet
hmm
all of those are tools.
Yes. And we
Signs,
have to
symbols.
bring mindset and focus to them so we can understand ourselves while we're on this journey here. It's very important.
I think
And sun sign is how you start with it.
really,
Yes, understanding your sun sign is understanding yourself to the core. That's why this video is so important. This video is on this site, this show because it's really important.
it's kind of strange because it's weird they talk about gateway drugs.
hmm
Think that it's practices in spirituality that are gateways into
There's
something.
the numbers. The numbers are the ones that that keep you like on the drug. I swear, because numbers like they don't drive you crazy, but they mean so much. You don't
Yeah.
understand until you're really in sync. But numbers are the one that keeps me going and keeps me pulling. It keeps pulling on me.
Yes, like something there, but you
Exactly.
don't know quite what it is, and you gotta find it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Interesting. To
Mm-hmm.
you, what does astrology mean in
To me,
your own terms?
astrology means to me, well, I'll say astrology is a science, right? It's a science that, the ancient magicians study or ancient sages study to understand the movements of the planets and celestial bodies and how they affected us on the physical plane. But to me, it's a language with direction. It's a navigation tool. It's a understanding yourself tool, understanding others, having better relationships with other people, better understanding yourself. Like that is top notch because I feel as though we all have a mission in life, but we get lost. And these tools is like astrology and numerology, they help us find our way back. And so astrology is a language, and we must understand other languages, just not just English and French and stuff like that. Yeah.
I love the way that you described it as a language. I can definitely agree with that. And I love when you said that it brings us back. So it made me think about it kind of helps us remember
hmm
who we are.
That's what I'm about, remembering who we are because we didn't forget. It's just a lot of blocks and psychological makeups and programs that we have in our head. But truly we are, divine beings connected to something greater, and we have to remember that, you know? Yeah.
A lot of people, they know their sun sign,
Mm-hmm.
but they really don't know what that means.
Mm,
Why do you think that? Well, let me say it a different way, because there's some people that know their sun sign but don't know exactly what it is. And
mm,
then there's a lot of people that say they don't believe in astrology, but
mm.
they can say, I'm this zodiac sign.
I know.
What's that all about?
I hear that all the time, and it's it's funny to me, you know? It's funny to me now, but now I just try to explain to people that it's not like just a practice, you know, like a religion based thing. It's truly and it's like an onion. You are uncovering all of these things, and they're so fascinating that you just have no idea. Like being a sun in Aries, like pulling back the layers, putting the sun inside the first house, these things mean something. The sun is our battery, it's food, it's fuel, it's everything, it's light, it's a ball of light. And this is what we need to survive. And all of our sun signs need different things, but we all need the sun because we're all children of the sun.
You're a deep sister. You know we gotta have you back. We know you're talking about pulling back the layers.
Yeah.
How deep can you get?
Oh,
All the way to the core, huh?
it's truly we got to go to the core to really understand who we are as people. We are not, of lack of missing anything. We are just a little bit, how do I say it? Just that we don't have the right knowledge, and that's why I love shows like yours and shows like any other show where they're talking about uplifting, the people, and the God in me loves the God in you. I love that.
Thank you.
I love that because it's true. We need to start loving each other. And that's why I named my channel Soul to Soul, because really I'm talking to the soul, the soul of others, not to just have friends. Like I really want to have like soul connections with people because we are much more than, we've been told. So yes, Kimberly.
Yeah, we're more deeply connected than what we really know. And that's
Mhm.
interesting. And that's probably um one of the biggest parts of the God in me loves the God in you, because it's like knowing that
Mhm.
we are the same,
Yeah. When
same.
you said that, I knew that you were for me. Like I knew you understand things on a deeper level. It's true. Like that's how you truly want to love. And when you said that, I was like, yes, I love you too. It is, it's something to, believe in something outside of yourself. But when you believe in yourself, it's different. It feels different. And that's what that's the kind of curse I want to break on us as sisters. And even in sisterhood, we are together. We're not apart. We're one. So we have to start understanding that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a part of my mission too. Yeah,
hmm
that's
I know.
important to
That's
me.
why that's why I found you. I was like, this is truly what I love. I would love to listen. I listen to your videos all the time. I wake up and I listen to you on what is that? What is it called? When you choose a card. I
Oh,
got
the a weekly wisdom.
Yes, weekly wisdom. I love when you pull out the weekly wisdom cards because it's always the exact message I need to hear from my sister. I want to hear this from my sister. I just don't want to hear anything. I want to be reminded from my sister. And being reminded from you really was like this, there's a wavelength that we both belong to and that we're connected to. And so why not try to make each other better? And that's all that I'm about. That's all that you're about. And that's what we're doing here. That's what we're talking about, these sun signs, so we can see how we all are compatible.
Thank you so much. Because
Mm-hmm.
everything won't be the same, but
Mm-hmm.
it's about the awareness. If you know how this person is different, then you know what to expect and how to approach them. So
Yeah.
sometimes it's really about awareness. Goddess is actually going to get into everybody's sun sign, and she's going to let you know what your sun sign says about you, how it describes you. But first, we can't do that unless we know your sun sign. So please drop your sun sign down in the comment section. Let Goddess know we're happy to have her here. And when she describes your sun sign, I want you to let us know, do you feel the energy that she is describing?
Mm-hmm.
Or if you're not and you know some of your other placements, what placement do you feel the most? And before she gets into that, I am going to tell you what the sun represents in numerology. So in numerology, the sun rules the number one. The number one is a leader, and there are a few leaders in numerology, and I'm dealing with astro-numerology. There's the number one, the number three, and there's the number nine. To me, there is a distinct difference in between these leaders. What makes the number one stand out? And the one is ruled by the sun. The number one, to me, is the charismatic leader. The one is the leader that everybody wants to follow. And the reason for that is when you think about the sun is magnetic in nature. So the sun is always attracting energy to it. So people will follow this sun person because of his charisma, his creativity, the way that they're able to be innovative. These people are courageous. They're bold. Some people look at the number one and they think that these people are self-centered. And they think that self-centered is a bad word. But to me, when I think about the word self-centered, I think about that number one is the center person. And it knows that it has to do everything that it can to be a great leader for the people that are on the team because they have that responsibility. So they're not just doing it because they want to do it for them. They're doing it because they know that they have a team of leaders around to support them. A lot of times, the number one will be the first to do something, the first to maybe go to school, maybe graduate school, maybe go to college, or step out into a career field that nobody else has even thought about before. They are inventors, inventive. And a lot of people are attracted to the number one, and it's ruled by fire. So that means that this number one person can be aggressive to the negative. The number one could be egotistical. The number one can be selfish. And the number one can be a little bit arrogant sometimes, but that is all depending on whether or not you're on the right side of your number, because we have duality. So it's two sides of every coin. One side may be the side that's the charismatic leader. The other side may be the one that's egotistical and want to take control. So that's why you can see the difference in some people that are, I guess you would say, living in the right way. Well, I don't like to say living in the right way, but they're in alignment with their purpose. That's a better way to say it. And so I guess those are a few things that I can say about the number one. And one thing people get confused about the sun, a lot of people say the planets, but they don't realize that the sun is actually a luminary. And the other thing that you should know about the one is that we could not exist without the sun.
Sure.
Yeah. So now I'm just gonna take the heat off me. I'm getting out of the hot chair and I'm gonna pass it on to you, Goddess.
That was a beautiful description. And
Thank
it's
you.
honestly the same in astrology. The sun is a ball of light. It is not it is, well, I call it a celestial body, a celestial force, actually. But the sun gives us life. We need the sun. And so in astrology, the sun goes through each sign about 28 days, 30 days. And I'm going to start with the sun in Aries and the sun in the first house. But here, let me talk a little bit about the sun in astrology. So the sun is our vital force. Like I said, we need the sun. We cannot survive without the sun. If you have the sun in the first house, it's very important for you to wake up with the sun because it all depends on how your day starts. So when we talk about the first house of astrology, we're going to talk about Aries first. Aries is ruling over this house, right? And so the sun in Aries, which would be the first house, which would be number one, is a very strong leader, you know? And even to experience the energy of Aries, you see that they are very competitive, you know? They are very good looking. Let's just say that when you have the sun in Aries, you know? They're very strong. They're very strong willed. They are quick tempered, but as they mature, they do, you know, they do get a little bit better as far as, you know, their aggression, their anger, their intensity. You know, it's really because the sun in Aries or the sun in the first house is trying to get something done. They are taking charge of their life. When you think about it, the first house is the house of Aries, and it's when you wake up. It's the 6 a.m. Your first house is the house of I guess I shouldn't even talk about that. But the first house is when you wake up in the morning, right? And if you have the sun in the first house, it's very important for you to take control of your day. Your day starts off with the sun in the first house. You have to get the sun. It's just the reason why I say this is just really important because it depends on your day, how you feel that day. Because remember, the sun is always shining. It's this ball of light that's you know, constantly beaming out light. You know, it's always in the center of attention. It doesn't get tired, right? It charges us up, the sun. And so you need that charge in the morning. It is truly important if you have the sun in the first house, or even if you have the sun in Aries. And in the sun in Aries, the sun likes Aries. It's another fire sign, right? The sun feels at home if it's not, you know, in Leo. And so the sun is like our expressions and our motivations and our inspiration. And the sun being in Aries is really, like I said, taking charge of something, going after something. And the sun is ruling over our heart chakra, our kundalini, our spinal cord. It's ruling over everything. Let's just say yellow, confidence, our willpower. It's like I said, you know, getting the sun, it makes you feel better about yourself. It feeds you, you know, you get downloads from the sun. And so the sun, if you have the sun in Aries or the sun in the first house, this is really great actually, because this is you taking charge of this world. You're taking charge of your life, you know, and there's so many layers of, you know, the birth chart or things of that nature, but having the sun there or having a sun in Aries, you are already off to the strong start. Okay. And also, the sun in astrology actually gives us a glance into understanding ourselves. As I said in the beginning of the video, there is an onion that we must peel back, and the sun sign is the core of it. And people don't see your sun sign unless you truly let them in. And, you know, and that's what's funny because no one's truly going to see, you know, my Leo side. The only reason why my Leo side comes out is because I'm so comfortable with you know, Kimbaley, that it comes out. But other than that, you won't really feel your sun sign. Sometimes it all depends on your chart. But, you know, like I said, sometimes the sun is subtle in our charts or, you know, things of that nature. I do want to say that I want to give the dates for sun in Aries, March 22nd through April 19th. That's when the sun is going to be in Aries. Okay. And like I said, the sun is the center back to yourself, especially you have the sun in Aries and the sun in the first house. It's very intense in this house because, as I said, as soon as you wake up, all eyes is on you. The center is on you. What are you going to do today? And that's why Aries have so much pressure on them, you know, because they have to do something with themselves. They have to move their energy. I love the sun in Aries and the sun in the first house because it's expressed well, you know. And as Kimberly said, you know, there is some selfishness that comes to it, but it's not trying to be selfish. It's actually, like I said, trying to take charge of the world because they know that you need an initiative. Like the world understands no coward. Like really, the sun in Aries understands this, or the sun in the first house. But in the sun in the first house can get burnt out quickly. So that's why I always said like rise with the sun, because all eyes are on you. Your solar plexus chakra. Sometimes you have to take, you know, time to get back in tune with yourself and realize, you know, have more confidence and things of that nature, because sometimes the world can weigh you down because the eyes are always on you with the sun in the first house, you know. But you have to revitalize yourself because the sun is our vital force. We can rejuvenate. The sun is warm, it's fuel, it's food. And let's move on to the sun in Taurus and the sun in the second house. Kimberly, would you like for me to keep going?
Yeah, you can keep going. This is good. I like how you added the date to it.
Oh yeah, that's what I forgot. I'm gonna say that. So the sun in Taurus and the sun in the second house, the sun in Taurus is going to be from April 20th to May 20th. Okay. And the sun in Taurus. Okay. And the sun in the second house, the sun in the second house is fantastic in my opinion, because this brings a focus on your finances, right? And the sun in Taurus, that's what they want in life. They want to obtain resources, they want to obtain possessions, and they want things in their home that look nice. They want status in the world, whether they have to start from the bottom, you know, up. They will start from the bottom and build up. And the sun in Taurus is actually pretty strong as well, because they're patient, you know, they're stable, they don't want to change. And you know, I wouldn't say don't want to change, but they like things to be stable and steady, so they don't have, you know, erratic things happen in you know, in their life. But that's because Taurus is an earth sign, you know, and Taurus, in my opinion, also rules nature. So Taurus, definitely, if you have the sun in Taurus, you need nature, and you need nature if you have the sun in the second house to replenish your finances. The second house is also our self-worth too, and Taurus, because Taurus is a sign of exchanging monies and things of that nature, and the things that you buy. So, you know, when you know, like revitalize your self worth, you feel good about yourself, you know, self care, and the things that you buy, you can increase your money. And so, if you do things, because the sun is the ego, right? So, you know, the egos always want to spend, especially Leo. Leo wants to spend. The sun is gonna, you know, it's gonna charge up something, you know. But with the sun in Taurus, it's a little bit more stable, that it knows how to save, because this is a house of saving too. Sun in Taurus understands saving, investing, you know, they understand having stability in this world. And in the second house, you understand how to obtain finances. But you know, wealth is very important if you have the sun in the second house. But you want to make sure that you're not just buying because you want to feel good about yourself. Always check on your self-worth when you have the sun in Taurus. And because this is a house of food too, Taurus is a house of food and comfort. You know, it's ruling over the neck. So we eat, it's our senses. And Taurus wants to, you know, like I said, obtain. They want to eat food. They want to eat delicious food. And the sun in Taurus really enjoys this. They must, like, they have to eat the good. And people who have the sun in the second house, they will have delicious food in their life. They are probably a really good cook, you know, or probably have tried a lot of like different food, different varieties of food, but it's very delicious, you know. The sun is food, you know, and the sun is giving them information. So if you have the sun in Taurus, sun in second house, it's always important to make sure what you put inside of your mouth, because that is the information that goes up in your, you know, in your in your head. So Taurus, the sun in Taurus is very loyal. You know, they're a very loyal sign. They will stay loyal to you. But the sun in Taurus will stay in like they will stay steady for so long, even if they know they have to change. And so, like I said, it's very important to watch what you put in your mouth, because whatever you put in your mouth is it's refusing to change. You know what I'm saying? Because it feels good in this house. The sun is making you feel good. The sun in Taurus is making you feel good, right? And I like I said, I love the sun in Taurus because they're very gentle, but they're very fierce in a way, you know, like they're fierce about getting their possessions. You know, they want to obtain something, and that's always good. That's always nice to have that type of drive, you know. And so the sun in Gemini, or the sun in the third house, the sun in Gemini is going to be from May 21st to June 20th. And the sun in the third house. I like the sun in the third house. Obviously, I just like the sun in every house. Let's just say that I just love the sun in every house. Because the sun is like where you're shining. So think about it. The sun, well, Gemini is a sign of communication. And, you know, this Gemini is a sign of the twins, the two personalities, right? So we think about the sun being in Gemini. There are two different personalities. There's the one side of the ego, but there's also this one warm-hearted one, right? That just wants to have the good conversations. And so the sun in Gemini is extremely intelligent. They can be in any conversation. They could talk about anything. Having a conversation with the sun in Gemini will leave you with more information than you had, you know, when you came into the conversation. Because they study, you know, the third house is like traveling and short-term trips. You know, it's cars, it's early education. So, you know, having the sun in the third house, there could have been this focus on your early education. You know, maybe it was a little bit harder for you to learn, or maybe you could only learn if your heart was actually in it, you know. Anything in the third house or in Gemini, because it's our communication, does cause like a speech, like a little speech, I wouldn't say delay. Sometimes there can be a delay, but there is something with the conversation and speech, whether it's like you're not confident enough to speak, or, you know, you speak too arrogantly or something, you know, of that nature. But the sun in Gemini is more expressed as being you know, very intelligent, you know. But the sun in the third house, they know what they're talking about, right? This is Gemini's house. This is a communicator. They know what they're talking about, so they don't want to really, you know, they don't want to listen, you know. And that's the thing, you have to listen, because you know that the third house of communication, you can learn a lot through other people's voices and when other people speak to you, because this is a house of learning too. And it's always good to learn. With the sun in Gemini, they jump from different thing to different thing because they know that they can learn everything, you know. But everything that they learn, it just like, it blows their mind how much information that they could obtain. And sometimes they just forget it, because this is the house of thought forms. And the thoughts are, in my opinion, they're like electricity. Like, it's going and going and going, and it's never really you know, sticking to one thing unless you're writing it down, unless you're present in the moment. And see, that's the sun. The sun is a here and now. We're here and now. We're in this present moment, right? And you know, the sun in Gemini, as I said, they can hop from different things. The sun in the third house, this makes them a jack of all trades. This is a house of skills, you know. They can do a lot of things at once. As I said, Gemini is ruling over their hands. They could be really good at crafting, you know, like Gemini, as I said, that's why I say it's two sides of them. You'll get two people, one that has an ego, but one that will do anything in this world for you. And then moving on to Gemini, actually not Gemini, moving on to the sun in Cancer and the sun in the fourth house. So the sun in Cancer is going to be from June 21st to July 22nd. And the sun in Cancer, I actually wrote a lot about this because this one is a little tricky. The sun is ruled by Leo, and the sun is a luminary like the moon, and the moon is ruled by Cancer. So, you know, fire and water, or, you know, the moon and the sun, you know, they can't really mix up together. They're seeing, you know, they're seeing each other's shadows and whatnot, right? And so it's really tricky with the sun in Cancer. They are extremely intuitive, right? They have a connection to the mother, to the father, to everything. They have an embrace from Mother Nature and from Father Goddess, because they understand the fourth house, the sun in Cancer, they understand the meaning of like family, you know, connections and ancestry, and you know, connection to things that have came before us. They start to understand this, and they know that there's something else speaking to them, and that's when they have like the good intuition. But the only thing that gets, you know, a little bit tricky, you know, with the sun in Cancer is the fact of being courageous, like going out there, they're so psychic that it the charge to do something, it becomes more of an internal thing, more of the thought process. They have to emotionally go over things to make decisions. And the sun in Cancer is so beautiful because it's psychic, it's intuitive, it has all of these, spiritual gifts, but they're in the physical world of the sun that wants strength, and they want you to do something. And there's just sometimes there's a level of like insecurity in the sun in Cancer, or even the sun within the fourth house, because as I said, this is the past, to past memories, the past of, past traumas and all that stuff. And thinking about it, like all of those things come up in their emotions. The moon is constantly moving every day, and they're constantly being moved by these sides. But the sun in Cancer, they get used to this as they grow older, and they start to see like, oh, I am the divine mother, and I am the one that takes care of the world and nurture the world. And once they do it to themselves, they have a better understanding of what the physical world needs from them. And so that's the sun in Cancer. And the sun in Cancer is just so beautiful because they like to just, romanticize their feelings and romanticize everything. But, as I said, these things change constantly. A full moon, it's changing. Moon in another sign, it's changing. And, the sun in Cancer really have to hone in and harness on their psychic abilities. That's going to really help them through this world. And the sun in the fourth house. So, as I said, this is a sun of, this is the house, not the sun. This is a house of family, how you grew up, but also your ancestry, the past, memories. And as I said, water and fire does not mix. Bringing back those memories, I was like, I don't want to think about this right now, but then the sun having ego towards it. But remember, these are heartfelt memories. Leo is the heart, and it truly feels that. And moon, it truly feels that too. And so, this is a huge feeler. It's very important if you have, the sun in the fourth house, to study your ancestry, to understand your emotions, to understand your emotions, to understand how your emotions play a huge part. The fourth house is the base of the chart, and any planets that's in this chart you have to pay attention to, especially the sun, because the sun is a powerful force. And so putting it over your emotions can be heavy at the time. But it's important that, as I said, you have psychic abilities, anything in the fourth house. Please keep in tune with them, and even memories from the past. Sometimes, Kimbaley, I got this from you. It's meditation. Sometimes you have to go back to those memories, and especially with this placement, because these are extremely heartfelt, and you have to do those meditations and go back and change those memories and tell yourself you're okay now and everything is great and you're so much better, and you're, everyone loves you, ancestor loves you, and all of this, like you just really have to go back and reassure yourself. The thing with the sun in Cancer or the sun in the fourth house is they don't trust themselves, because how can you? There's this push and pull, but you have to trust yourself. And it's hard to, sometimes when they feel that psychic pull, immediately it's doing something else. So know your gifts, hone in on your gifts, because this house is very powerful, right? The fourth house is it's like the heart of it's the heart of the chart. And so moving to the best of the best, the sun in Leo or the sun in the fifth house. Oh my goodness. I love this, right? So we have the sun in Leo from July 23rd into August 22nd. If you have the sun in Leo, when is your solar return? Mine is 7/31. When's yours, Kimbaley?
Mine's 8/22. I just did make it.
You just made it. You're on the cusp.
I was like, hold up. I saw the Virgo line. I was like, oh, hold up, mama. Time to go. Time to go. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I love Virgo too.
Me too. So Leos, oh man, the sun in Leo and the sun in the fifth house. So the sun feels at home in Leo. It feels like it can be expressed. And the sun can be fully expressed in this house because this is a house of expression. This is Leo's house. Expression, the inner child coming out to play, entertainment, fun, romantic partners, joy. This is a house of joy, And with the sun in this house, the sun Leo knows what true joy is. They bring the joy right to your front door, Like the sun in Leo is extremely entertaining in that way. And having the sun in the fifth house, in my opinion, you can attract a lot in your life, a lot of great romantic partners that teach you a lot about stuff. But be careful because this is a house of children too. So if you have the sun in the fifth house, you most likely had a boy first, because the sun is the father, the older child. And so you most likely had a boy first. But if not, then the sun being in this house, it means you will have children, right? Because this is a house of children and things of that nature. But you will have a really close relationship with them, it will be very, heartfelt and heartwarming, and that's always a good thing. So, if you have the sun in the fifth house, you will have, like I said, really good partners. You need to watch out for your ego though, too, when you have the sun in the fifth house, because you can attract a lot of, well, I don't want to say narcissistic because it's a word that's just thrown out, but the qualities of Leo where they want to control you and they get jealous and things of that nature. These are the avenues that you have to watch out for with the sun in the fifth house, because it can get really aggressive very fast. Anything with Leo or anything in the fifth house. Okay, especially when it doesn't get what it wants, because we're talking about the inner child. The inner child is unhealed. It is not expressed right, but the sun in Leo is the best. Okay, let's just talk about the sun in Leo. The sun in Leo is expressed as the entertainer, the lover. This is someone who is extremely fashionable, lovable, entertaining. That's my favorite word. But God, why is my mind blank? And my sun is in Leo. Oh my God. See, that's what happens when
That's why it's always harder to read yourself.
I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, wait, what? Okay. So the sun in Leo. Okay. So the sun in Leo is expressed through the inner child, through creativity. They're the life of the party. They're the ones that are going to hype you up when you feel down. But the sun in Leo has this flip side to it where it can get, jealous, a little bit aggressive, when it isn't getting the attention that it wants or the attention that it needs, There is this level of insecurity too with the sun in Leo, because it shines bright every day. It wants to be noticed. Hey, do you notice me? Literally, like you should notice Kimbaley and me, because like that's the type of essence of the sun in Leo. It's very powerful. They understand their worth and their power, and sometimes it gets discombobulated with the people that are on this reality, because we really believe that this is our show, and we know that life is our stage and that we're sitting on the throne and we're running life. And so when the sun is in Leo, it, like I said, is expressed powerfully. The sun, it doesn't need anyone, but that's what I'm saying. The sun in Leo actually does want someone, but they want someone to hold them up to a high standard as they hold themselves. They cannot play those games, right? And so the sun in Leo is always romanticizing everything. And that's what makes the sun in Leo very powerful within the zodiac, or at all, right? Because we're the heart of everything. You need us. Like if we weren't here, like everyone would just come on now. So let's move on to the sun in Virgo and the sun.
Hold on.
Oh, go ahead.
If nobody ever thought that the sun in Leo was egotistical, they believe it today.
As they should. The ego is just coming out. It happens. But I feel it. But I love you. See, it's genuine. It's love. I want attention, so just give it to me. The sun in Leo, the sun in Virgo, or the sun in the sixth house. Okay, so Virgo is a sign of health. The sun in Virgo is a very important force as well. Virgo is a sign of health. Sixth house is another vital part of the whole chart, because health is wealth. without health, we really have nothing. And the sun in Virgo understands this. And so Virgo, the sun in Virgo, they have no purpose. They feel as though they have no purpose if they are not serving in some way. And the sun in Virgo has a critiquer in their head. They have a criticizer in their head. They have this criticizing personality about them where they're very judgmental. But it's not to judge. They're really judging themselves first and then judging someone else. And so this is the battle that the sun in Virgo kind of has. But, you know, it's important for us to pay attention to detail. And so that's why I think that, you know, the sun in Virgo comes in as a superhero as well, because they understand that health is wealth and that we have duties in life, and that if we're not trying to accomplish something, we're not doing anything, right? But also on the flip side, the sun in Virgo wants it to be perfect. The sun in Virgo wants things to make sense. They need control. They need order. You know, they need things set in stone. If things don't make sense, they, you know, this kind of messes with their health too. Like the thing about the sun in Virgo, they will give everything to something, even their own health, you know. And it's really important not to do that. If you have the sun in Virgo, you have to revitalize your own body to be able to give. Sun in Virgo, someone always needs something from the sun in Virgo, because the sun in Virgo is a caretaker. It is the caregiver. Everyone needs the help of them. They have information, they have wisdom that they can use and turn it into a practical teaching, into a practical force. And so, excuse me, the sun in Virgo is, or the sun in the sixth house. Actually, let me talk about the sun in the sixth house really quick, because the sun in Virgo, as I said, you need to think about your health. But the sun in the sixth house, you most importantly have to think about your health, your heart health, and most importantly, you know, these are people that are really should be really focused on their cardio, like running and things of that nature. You know, your heart health, because you'll feel everything mostly intensity straight to the heart. Because I said Virgo, the sixth house is the house of health, right? And so I just think about this. I think about like you having to get up, because this is the house of mentality as well. And think about it. Sometimes, you know, when you have that voice, you know, even if the sun is in Virgo, or even if the sun is in the sixth house, it's still Virgo's house. So you have a voice still, you know, criticizing and doing, you know, all of these things, and probably getting you not to work out when, you know, you should work out. But you know, after you get over there, the sun in the sixth house powers you up. It makes your vessel more powerful. You understand you have to take care of your body to look beautiful, you know. But it's getting over that laziness, because the sun does have a laziness. It doesn't have to do anything, you know. And so, like I said, you know, it's really important to explore all avenues of your health, your mental health. If you have the sun in the sixth house, you know, because Virgo rules purity, and the sun in Virgo doesn't play about their health, or they shouldn't play about their health, because that's what gets them anything. It gets them power, it gets them knowledge, it gets them service if they need to. As soon as the sun in Virgo starts to service themselves, everyone will start to service them, you know, because they're meant to give. And that's what they come here giving. And sometimes with the sun in Virgo, they're the ones that are taking care of the whole family, because they're the natural caregiver. And some point in a sun in Virgo's life, they will have to take care for someone other than themselves, you know. And it's important for the sun in Virgo, or the sun in the sun in the sixth house, to always have faith that you'll find solutions for things, you know, because Leo is the sun is a sign. Well, the sun is a sign of like burning. How do I say, like burning? It's fire. It's a plasma, you know, it's energy. It's always like on the go, and it's really important you don't burn yourself out, you know, with the sun in Virgo or the sun in the sixth house. That happens very quickly. Actually, the sun in Virgo is going to be from August 23rd to September 22nd. I don't think I said that one. And moving on to the sun in Libra, or the sun in the seventh house. So the sun in Libra is going to be from October 23rd to September 23rd to October 22nd. Okay, so the sun in Libra. I like the sun in Libra because the sun in Libra is very charming. They're gonna get you out, they're gonna get you going, they're gonna get you playing, they're gonna get you at the party, and unlike the sun in, Leo, where they're the life of the party, the sun in Libra is connecting to everyone in the party to see how they can make their status go up. They're very intelligent. Virgo is a sign of intelligence. Gemini is a sign of intelligence. They are, but Libra takes the cake. Libra takes the cake because they know how to build relationships, right? The sun in Libra know how to build relationship with people that mean something. The sun in Libra understands the unionship. Like there must be some type of unionship or working together to get to a goal or reach a goal, right? But the sun Libra has this charm about them. Like they know how to talk, they know how to say the things they need to say, they know how to do business deals and things of that nature. Even if you have the sun in the seventh house, you know how to make business partners and things of that nature. But the sun in the seventh house can cause a battle between relationships. The seventh house is the house of relationships. It's the house of other people. Somebody has an ego in that. Someone has a bigger ego than the next. And as I said, the sun has to, well, I won't say the sun has to, but once you hold your partner up, you hold that both of the partners need to be held up on the same pedestal. Okay. Like one partner will, whenever the sun is in the seventh house, it's definitely about balancing that out. But as the sun is in Libra, this is a good placement because, as I said, they know how to build relationship with people. Libra rules the scales, and knows how to weigh out options. And the sun in Libra actually has difficulty making those choices and things of that nature because they're weighing out their options. They're really not, the sun in Libra is really not trying to get angry. They're really trying to solve problems and be the mediator and build connections. They're not trying to, burn bridges. So they want to build, and so they try not to get angry as fast, but they can get very angry fast, but they will feel bad for it because they don't want to argue and help you. I mean, and hurt you. They want to work together. And so, if you have the sun in Libra, these people probably do well in relationships. They probably prefer to be in relationships, especially, actually, if you have the sun in the seventh house, you probably just want, people to hold you up to a high pedestal. But once again, watch out for the ego clashes. And so the sun in Libra has a very elegant taste. As I said, they build relationships so they can get to the next level, not to con, not to scheme, no, but they like, I won't say luxury, but they like elegant things around them. They like to hang out with, they want to go to the nice bars. They want to go to the nice, retreat centers. Like they don't want to go to the, American retreat centers. They want to go to the nice ones, right? And like the sun in Libra has this way about them. I'm telling you, they're very charming, and they can talk you into anything. Like they can talk you into anything. Well, they're ruled by Venus, so it's just something beautiful about the sun in Libra. And also, the sun in Libra, they understand this sense of justice. Two people are in a unionship and someone does wrong. It's both, and they understand they understand the equality. They understand truth, justice. The sun in Libra is a sign of truth and justice and getting to the bottom of things. So what? We got to take 20 years to make a decision or 1 or 3 years to make a decision. I will make the right decision. And Libra is always going to make the right decision no matter how long it takes them because they are weighing out true options in their head. And the sun in Libra has to make sure that they're not using their emotions when they're weighing out options too. Because the ego comes in with the sun, but Venus is feeling good, So the sun in the seventh house, as I said, that's a battle. There must be an equalness, right? There must be a respect, There must be like, I do think that when, I grew up as a Leo. When you grow up as Leo, you're not able to handle that energy. You want the attention always on you. You want the sun always on you. So like the sun in the seventh house, you always want the attention on you. And you have to just really be careful about that and understand that, it's equals. And even in the beginning, like not the beginning, like when we're younger, like 16, 17, and you just start dating, there's a lot of clashes, a lot of not the best relationships. It has to mature. It has to understand the ego and let it go. And that's what, the sun in the seventh house really represents because it's partnerships. And so in partnerships, you gotta, there's a certain level of um agreement that must be had. It's not just about you. And so it's important for the sun in the seventh house to understand that. But like I said, you can attract a lot of powerful people, with this placement as well, because it stands for, it could be masculine people. It stands for the sun, like I say, the sun, the boys, right? But you can attract like someone who's masculine, someone who teaches you a lot about life, someone who reminds you, hey, you are the center of attention. And then, but this all, I feel like this all happens, like after 20, after you get a little bit more mature with the sun's energy, because it's very powerful. The sun's energy, it will have you, you know, burnt out if you are not, taking care of yourself, understanding that, yes, the tension is always on you, but even that requires a lot of energy. So the sun in Scorpio, or the sun in the eighth house, the sun in Scorpio, everyone talks about the sun in Scorpio because the sun in Scorpio is very secretive. They're very mysterious. You want to know the sun in Scorpio. I want to know the sun in Scorpio because they know stuff that we don't know. And when I mean that they know stuff, like the sun in Scorpio has to go through a lot, when it comes to their emotions. The Scorpio is a water sign, like Cancer. And it's ruling over the eighth house of transformation. And you put the sun in there. Oh, you got to get over something to become something else, right? So the sun in Scorpio understands that they have to become bigger, they have to become better, and they strive for this. This is why they look mysterious, because they're fighting a battle internal that has nothing to do with even like people. This is really like fighting against that own pain or own emotions, because the 10th house is the eighth house is a house of this, like our psychological makeup. It is the house of what's hidden to us, lies and secrets that have been hidden. But it's also the house where things can be dissolved and transformed. And so that's where the sun Scorpio becomes powerful. Starting off, they have a battle with their emotions. As they mature, they understand that their emotions play a huge part, and they subconsciously rearrange their whole psychological makeup to like have that understanding in their bodies as they mature. The sun in Scorpio is from October 23rd to November 21st. And so, like I said, there's really this high pitch emotion in the sun in Scorpio, or even the sun in this eighth house, because it's a house, as I said, of these deep emotional landscapes that we have to battle in order to change our mind, change our life, right? And so Scorpio is a sign of transformation. The eighth house is a sign of transformation, and these are psychological ones. They're not even physical. They are extremely internal. And the sun in Scorpio is brilliant in that way, because they know how to go to the bottoms of like hell to build themselves back up again. And it's not that they want to, it's not that they always want to do this, but when they do this, they never go back there. Like it's this transformation that sticks and it never happens again. You know what I'm saying? And like the sun in Scorpio is very, very passionate too, because they can go so deep, and they're a sign of the depth and going deeper underneath the surface. There's no telling what the sun in Scorpio actually knows. You know what I'm saying? There is no telling what they really know, because telling you, they can't even really word it. It's almost like it just happened in their head and they can't put it into words. But, Scorpio is a sign of power too. And so this makes the sun in Scorpio very powerful. It makes a lot of people attracted to them. And the people don't even know why they're attracted to them. That's because when you're fighting demons behind doors, you look good now. You look good when it's done. But no, like the sun in Scorpio, they really just want to merge with someone and, find that deepness, within the next person, because the eighth house is a house of shared resources. And if we put the sun in the eighth house, there's a rockiness with the, like resources. I'm talking about like inheritance, things that you get from like overseas, or not overseas, but you get, how the government gives you money or things of that nature. It's that type of transaction. And so, inheritances and things of that nature. the eighth house, the sun in there, you can have chances to get an inheritance, but there is also a chance to go into debt too, due to ego clashes with the partner, And so it's important, as I said, with the sun in Scorpio, sometimes they can get married fast too, because they're so quick they want to merge, And so with the sun in there is important to understand, there has to be a level of maturity to share finances with someone. There has to be a level of security to go to that deep depth and tell people about your demons or tell people about the things that you have been through, And so the sun in the eighth house has this transformative, experience. It can dive deep into a lot of occult knowledge, science, and the sun in Scorpio is very adamant about that. They have to learn. They have to go deeper. And anything in the eighth house, it has to learn. It has to go deeper. And these are not just like little conspiracy theories like first 48. No, it's truly they're uncovering a lot of things that they can't even explain. Scorpios are the house, there's so many things that you can learn. You can learn astrology, numerology, but going to the depths of it, not just 1, 2, 3, 4. You're learning how it started. Now you see it. Now people are coming to you with these numbers. Like, it's truly a transformation, And so the sun in a Sagittarius or the sun in the ninth house, the sun in the ninth house of travel. Sagittarius is a free sign. They're free spirited. They love freedom. They want freedom. They want to speak freedom. The ninth house, Sagittarius, is a sign of like philosophy. They're a sign of talking about philosophy, preaching about it. They're the preachers of the zodiac, really. They're trying to get you to understand that life is much bigger than we think it is. Like, we're much grander than we think, because think about it. Sagittarius is a sun sign as well. And Sagittarius is a fire sign as well. And having the sun in there is fired up too. It's like, hey, let's live life. Let's travel. Have you tried to go to these places? Because the ninth house is a house of travel, cultures, and learning, and the higher knowledge about life, where it's not something, the ninth house is about, studying and taking classes, but it's really about going on journeys, And so the sun in Sagittarius has this free spirit to them, even in relationships, kind of like they don't understand the small talk, but sometimes they can become a little bit lazy because they're ruled by Jupiter, and they know they're going to travel. They know the bigger way of life. They know they don't really have to do much to learn, like, we really don't have to do much but go in meditation to learn a lot of things, to go like to literally sit with your higher self, have conversations, to go to different like geographical areas, sit down, meditate, learn, be optimistic, be always willing to learn. And the sun in Sagittarius is always willing to learn. And this makes them, like I said, the preachers of the zodiac. You want to listen to what the sun in Sagittarius are saying when they're preaching to you. They're not the ones that can have those little conversations like, how are you today? No, they want to talk about what is going on in the world. How can we evolve? Where are we going? Like, where are we traveling to really dig in deep and find out what God is? The ninth house is the house of Dharma, God, and learning those, like taking those quests to learn, So it's really about the journey. And these are nice experiences for the sun in Sagittarius. Like, these are fun experiences. So the sun is expressed well in Sagittarius, they're having fun, and the sun in the ninth house, this, in my opinion, I feel like this can attract teachers. This can attract people to teach them things, because, as I said, the sun in the ninth house, is all good things. It's learning, it's traveling, it's nice things. The sun in there, it attracts, teachers to teach you about life, gurus and things of that nature. When I say gurus, I mean people who teach you about life, not just teachers that you go in a classroom for. You actually journey and you meet these people. And so having the sun there's more of a chance that you will meet people who teach you about life. You learn a lot from people about life. And, it's such a beautiful thing having anything in the ninth house, because it's not attraction, it's the house of Dharma. It's like, this is your gift in life from the last life, and it's beautiful having that type of gift, to feel good about, traveling and things of that nature. So the sun in the ninth house, they possess a very philosophical outlook. We're talking about someone who is self-centered. These are people that extremely are preaching philosophies towards people. They can be preachers. They can be, people who just preach about anything, but these are preachers, sun in there, and they have to be careful because you want to make sure that you're not just preaching like from your ego. Because when people don't listen to you, because the sun in the Sagittarius is very preachy, so no one is gonna listen to you all the time, especially if you're talking about, I'm like, why? This is like very religious, talking about, the higher source in the universe all the time. Like, people don't want to hear about all that all the time. And the sun in Sagittarius can't understand that. So it's important for the sun in the ninth house to not be so forceful or egotistical in what you're saying. Like, you're not going to listen to me. Okay, you might want to listen to me. You know what I'm saying? You might want to listen to the sun in the ninth house too, because they came with karma from the last lifetime that gives them information, that feeds them information of the sun, and it feeds their higher self and higher brain. But you just because you know so much, when people don't want to listen to you, it's for the right people. Think about it, Jupiter and God and all of these higher forces, they come to you exactly when you need them, not when you're, forcing it. You cannot force information in people. And so it's important to you to remember that, like, even though you are extremely knowledgeable, as I said, this is house of Dharma, all good things, everything that they're telling you is going to change your life. But sometimes people don't want to change your life right then and there. And so it's important to be careful. And then the sun in Capricorn and the sun in the 10th house. So the sun in Capricorn is from December 22nd to January 19th. And the sun in Capricorn is a very reserved sign. And we think about Capricorn, we think about the 10th house, we think about success, legacy, public image. We think about where are we going to go and what are we going to get in life to build a legacy, And the sun in Capricorn, that is their goal in life. It's like they're put here to make a successful goal. This is very stressful, for the sun in Capricorn, because they constantly have to work, have to achieve, But the thing is, with the sun in Capricorn, they have so many opportunities to make these things happen. It is truly a gift, for the sun in Capricorn, because they have these abilities to make success happen for them, and they get recognition in their life if they really put effort into it, but it's always difficult, as I said, because Capricorn is an earth sign, always wanting to do and build and have things and obtain success and recognition and have this tangible plan. But the sun in the 10th house is like, the leader, it's the public image. So the sun in Capricorn needs to be the leader. They need to be the one in charge. They need to be the one leading things. But on the flip side, it's very, as I said, like restless. It's pressure some for them, because always having to achieve something, and especially if you have the sun, in the 10th house of public image and people can see you, it's very tiring. It's very burnout. It happens very quickly, and so it's important to understand that you are a natural born leader when you have the sun in Capricorn or the sun in the 10th house. And that's why you have these, these gifts available to you. But, it's important for you to understand on the other side, like your family too. The thing with the Capricorn energy, Capricorn moon and sun, they have these abilities to cut their family out, even though they're trying to like have success for family, especially in the 10th house. And, because they're trying to do, the fourth house is down, the opposite of Capricorn is Cancer. And, it's like they cut their emotions off just to reach the success. And it's really hard. Like, they have to not do this, but it's hard to not do it, because it's like, if I'm not going to do it, no one's going to do it. Because no one, when you have the sun in Capricorn or a sun in the sun in the 10th house, it's like I said, you're doing and you're trying to do these goals for your family, and it doesn't seem like they want to help you. This is really a lone journey, because Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, and Saturn wants you to do all the work by yourself. And so that's why I said it's a lot of pressure for the sun in Capricorn. But as they mature, they start to realize, like, that's because I'm the boss. That's because I'm the leader. And they start to transform into that energy of allowing their family to help them. Like, as soon as, because the sun in Capricorn or anything, within the 10th house, they will build up something. And think about it, as you building up something, let your family help you with little things, you know, and this makes it them help. This gets the sun in Capricorn or the sun in 10th house a little bit more like off their shoulders. As they mature, they have to try to do these things, you know. But like I said, Saturn is that in that house, and he wants you to do it all alone, but the results are fantastic. The results are long lasting. There's always an opportunity for the sun in Capricorn or the sun in the 10th house, you know. But I just want to say one more thing about the sun in Capricorn. I will say that, what did I want to say about the sun in Capricorn? See, with the sun in the Capricorn or the sun in the 10th house, sometimes they can feel a bit like they're not doing enough, like enough is not happening. And, you know, because this is a house of career and leadership and public image, you have to take charge of your own life. And it's difficult because you got to do it all by yourself. And I just want the sun in Capricorn to really understand that you will be like recognized in life. You know what I'm saying? Don't strive so much for success. You have to do what truly means something to you, Capricorn. And I mean this, you know, wholeheartedly, because they can take their emotions out. So if you're taking your emotions out of something and you're focusing on something, it's difficult to manifest. We need these emotions, and we need especially with the sun, you know, with the heart, your heart it has to be in it, okay? And so moving on to the sun in Aquarius and the sun in the 11th house. So the sun in Aquarius, right? Wow. This is going to be from January 20th to February 18th. Okay, so the sun in Aquarius, they are very funny. They are very funny and unique. They're very unconventional because the sun in Aquarius, because Leo is the opposite, that's what makes it so funny, you know, because it's in its sister sign. And so it's just like a Leo, you know, it wants the attention, but it wants to be known for its individuality. It doesn't just want to be known just to be known. It wants to be known for the image that it puts out. And so I say that the sun in Aquarius is very unique because they will dress unorthodox. They will try their hardest not to be like the rest, you know, because the 11th house is the house of humanity. It is the house of wishes. This is the house of goals, you know. But, you know, the sun in Aquarius actually want to work alone. They prefer to work by themselves, you know, and not work in groups. And so that's where it gets like really funky because they start nitpicking, you know, they start thinking about things that's not going right in this group, you know. And so the sun in Aquarius is very future based. Like I said, their mind is very much in the future. Well, the 11th house is a future house, your dreams, your goals, your wishes, and you have to work with a group. This is a house of groups. And so the sun in Aquarius has to work with a group to get something done. And sometimes they find this very difficult. But it's important to understand that even if, you know, you're doing something with someone else, it doesn't make you something else, right? It just makes you a part of an issue that humanity needs to solve, you know, because 11th house are issues that needs to be solved by the world, you know. And I mean by going to charity, you know, I mean by giving to people who are less fortunate, you know. And that's what the sun in Aquarius does a lot too. That's why they're very special and unique. They will give to charity. They understand, you know, adoption agencies and stuff like that. And so they want to give back, right? You know, and but they are a sign that can make a lot of friends and make a lot of, but they're, you know, not like the Leo where they constantly want to be around them. No, the Aquarius wants just, you know, high and by, you know, it doesn't want to just, you know, linger in it. They, the sun in Aquarius has like this fear of just losing themselves, you know, losing themselves or who they are becoming, you know, because like I said, the sun in a house of groups, you know, or of a sign that wants to do things by themselves, you know. And so when the sun in Aquarius grows a little bit older and they realize that, you know, they have to do some humanitarian thing or working with groups and things of that nature, they do it well. They do it well and they take care of what they need to take care of. You know, it's just that fixed nature of them, just like the fixed sign in Leo. It's the fixed nature of them. It's learning to work well with others. Not, you know, the sun in Aquarius is not wanting to be like the next person, but the sun in Aquarius is so unique and individual. They have these future ideas. There's no way that anyone can ever be like you. Like, that's the thing. It's no way that can ever happen. and it's like they will ignore others and they will ignore situations because they're like, I'm not going to be like that, like you just say yes to anything. That's not me. And it's funny, like really the sun in Aquarius or the sun in the the 11th house, you really have big things to do. That's what's funny. The 11th house is of it's duties, but it's duties of your goals, your wishes, but that are with like-minded people. This is a house of really, it's just giving back, and if you have the sun in here, you're giving back to your son can have been adopted. You can have adopted child actually if your son is in the 11th house, but there is like, there's this warm feeling around those senses of charities as well, giving back, I do like that, there can be, yeah, I do like that because, like I said, as they mature a little bit more, they start to understand that they are the ones that have the information that needs the group. They need the group. They're the ones with the future mind. They're the ones needed, and not so much the other way around. And anything in the 11th house is like someone, not someone needing you, but anything can work out much better if we have all these different perspectives to make this project better. Right? With the sun in the 11th house is working with others. And so moving on to the sun in Pisces and the sun in the 12th house, sun in Pisces or sun in the 12th house. And the sun in Pisces is going to be in February 19th through March 20th. Wow. I mean, there's so much that I can say about the sign Pisces. I mean, they are just, or the 12th house, this is my favorite house. This is my favorite thing to talk about. The sun in Pisces, oh my goodness, they are the most beautiful people, but the most misunderstood. I'm not even sure that they understand themselves to a level when they're younger, but as they grow up, I do think, as they mature, they start to understand things a lot more, or they will now. This is a time of awakening. The Pisces North Node, the North Node is going into Pisces in the year 2025. We understand this is a magical world. And so the sun in Pisces, like the Aquarius, they are very future based, but Pisces are very ethereal based. They are in the ethers, babe. They are in dreams. They do not even know what's going on in this world, especially if you have the sun in the 12th house. There's almost this hidden side of you. You rather be because the sun is your personality, right? So having the sun here, that's very hidden to people, right? That's something that you do behind closed doors. But it's important that, if you have the sun in Pisces or the sun in the 12th house, you're always taking care of your mental health yourself, because this is the house of the undoing. This is a house of, you can visit anybody in the dreams. You can do if you believe in astral projection, if you believe in the Akashic records, as I do, there are many different avenues in the 12th house to get involved in that spark spiritual awakenings, because Pisces is the sign of self-enlightenment and enlightenment and things. And like the tarot card, like I like the moon, it's ruled by Pisces, right? We talk about illusion and lies and deceit and things of that nature. Because it's ruled by Neptune, co-ruled Jupiter, we can see a lot of things in that in the sun in Pisces or the sun in the 12th house. As they're younger, they lie a little bit more because, they want to seem more interesting than it is. Life is boring to them because life is more fun in the ethers, and their imagination is fun. Like, I know, I know it's literally fun. Like, everything is going how they want it to go. They're literally imagining life as they want it to go. Dragons, fairies, if they want to be in that type of realm, whatever realm that they would like to be in. But that is the realm that they choose. And they feel as though they have to escape to this, because the 12th house is the house of escape. Pisces is the house of escape. So they're trying to retreat back into this world that they see. And the world that they see is truly true to them. And so when they step out into the physical world, they don't see the resemblance. They're like, what is going on? This makes them sad, and this makes them have this like lingering pain, with the sun in Pisces, because Pisces is the sign of pain, but it's the sign of suffering, not just pain, but suffering. Scorpio is a sign of pain, suffering, but suffering that you cause due to your own, subconscious. it's really, it's difficult for the sun in Pisces because they know that they're magical, but the sun is very egotistic. You're putting ego in Pisces. There's no ego. And so they have misunderstandings, and so the sun in Pisces, I just love them so dearly. They are such the sweeter, they're such sweet souls, or having the sun in the 11th house, but really they don't know it themselves yet, and they have to find it, and they have to create it, and they have to figure out how to create it in a tangible way, because escaping back into the world can only make them sadder and sadder and sadder. And so the sun in Pisces is a very magical, mystical sign. And I'm telling you, once they bring that imagination to life, they're the most creative people. These are geniuses. And I just like to say that in the beginning about the sun in Pisces, because this is the truth, about them. They're misunderstood. But the truth is, they live in the world of magic. They live in a world where things truly are flying, where things truly are existing and magical. And I'd rather live in that world. But they really, they are making up a lot of things. They're very creative in that way. They're the poets, they're the dreamers. And when their dreams don't come true, it's very hard for them to have a sense of self. And so I just encourage the sun in Pisces, or if you have the sun in the 12th house, to explore the ethers, explore the unknown. You are a medium. You can go from here to here, explore what wants to be explored, the unknown. Allow yourself, to explore it, because you're exploring yourself. And then, allow it to be spoken, allow it to come out of you. This is you. And only you're the one that's going to make your life. And the thing is, with the sun in Pisces, they have to be very careful, spend a lot of time in water, spend a lot, but because the 12th house is the subconscious mind. And, because Kimbaley, you talk a lot about the subconscious mind. You have to go in very deep to change it. You have to practice, constantly practice. And that's where Pisces fall in the sun, in the 12th house falls, because you have to practice and practices and practices. But these are the people that are psychic. These are the people that are angels. Like, they are extremely protected as well. If they just understand their own divinity, oh my goodness, the sun in Pisces is gonna flourish. But the next couple of years, these Pisces, finally they're learning, how powerful they truly are. And finally, yes. So that is all of the signs through the houses. I hope that made a lot of sense to everyone. If it was helpful, definitely let us know in the comments below. How you doing, Kimberly?
You did a great job.
Oh my God.
Everybody should walk away knowing exactly what their sun sign means, or you went so deep into it that we now understand the houses. I love how you did that. I heard your favorite house. My favorite house would have to be the 12th house also.
Yeah.
Sorry. My favorite house. I never really thought about it until now when you said your favorite house is the 12th house. And then when you started talking about it, that's when I started getting that tingly feeling like, oh yeah, that's my favorite house too. But I want to ask you, if you had to choose from the zodiac signs, Leo is not included. Which one would you choose to be your favorite?
Aries. Aries, yes, I love Aries. Aries, they take charge. They get you going. They get you going. They get you excited to live life. I love it.
I don't know. I don't know. It's a tie between two, so I won't say. It's
No. Say it. Say it. What
I
do you think?
love how you describe Aquarius because you described it in a different way. You made Aquarius seem funny. Like Aquarius don't you don't need the group.
Mm-hmm.
No, the group doesn't need you. You need the group. So I think that's kind of funny.
Yeah.
Everything you said about Aquarius is kind of funny. Like the very thing they should be doing, they're doing like the opposite of it. So I
Mm-hmm.
enjoyed that. And then, speaking of getting deep, the eighth house in Scorpio is another house and another sign that I like, but maybe it's because of my ascendant. So yeah, that too.
House in Scorpio and Pluto.
Which one?
Eighth house Scorpio with Pluto. Pluto and Scorpio in the eighth.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, so I know.
That's
I
a
go deep. Let's
that's a
go.
lot. Yeah.
That's my second favorite. Pluto in Scorpio.
Ooh,
Or
yeah.
the eighth house. The eighth, the ninth, and the 12th, they are the houses where you truly start to understand yourself and like what you're here for, what you're here to do, you know, what's the mission. And you have to dive deep for it. I love those three houses. So
That
I
is deep.
suggest those three houses. If you ever want to learn yourself, the first house, the 12th house, the ninth, and the eighth.
Oh,
Yep.
the first, yeah, Sagittarius. Yeah, I
What?
can understand that too. And the reason why, what I was thinking when you talked about the eight and you went to the ninth, it's like the eighth house is the deeper knowledge. And then when you get to the ninth house, it's the higher learning. So eight is the deeper learning, and nine is the higher learning. So I thought that was interesting, like how it plays out.
I know, really. It plays out so well in that order. It's like you're going through this transformation, right? And you're finally starting to realize, wait, like I have a purpose. And you go to the ninth house and you start learning from God or learning from your higher self. So you had to go through the transformation to learn and learn more. And that's the thing about the ninth house, you know. Yes, we have studied in school. It's always good to enjoy school and workshops, but we learn more from people, you know, we learn more, you know, through connection. And so that's why it's important. Like when you go from like, that's not important, but going through that transformation is the best thing that can happen for everyone. People are like, oh my God, I want my life to change. Scorpio, you're gonna have a Scorpio moment, but it's not a Scorpio moment where it's just, you know, chaotic and intense. The Scorpio moment is a revealing moment, but it's the revealing that you have this beautiful thing that wants to invite you back, whether it, you know, it's God, it's the universe, and it's, trust me, it's a beautiful transformation.
Speaking of revelations, can you tell us how, or reveal to us how we can get in touch with you?
Me, oh, okay, well,
Yes, you.
my YouTube channel is Soul to Soul by Goddess, and my Instagram is at Cody Soul Robinson, and my email address, because I do consultations, is at Soul to Soul by Goddess at gmail.com. Um, Actually, my books. Oh my goodness, my children's books. Oh wow. So we can find them at Etsy.com and at my shop, Soul to Soul by Goddess. So everything is Soul to Soul by Goddess except for my Instagram. And that's how you can find me.
Let me just show, well, because I thought this was amazing. Do you recognize this?
Oh, oh my God. Goblins, Ghoulies, and Glory. Yes. That's my scary book. That's the one, that's the eighth house book.
God, are you trying to scare the children?
Yes. 12 and no, it's truly a story of empowerment. It's empowerment of, you know, the melanin of everyone. You know, it's just an empowerment. Like we can get through the things. We are built resilient, you know.
Is
So
that your first book?
my first book is actually Star Signs for Kid Astrologers. Ah yes. Oh, that's my baby.
This is cute. Oh my goodness.
I want to teach, most importantly, children about, or their mothers to teach them about themselves. We, you know, we lack that, you know, in motherhood and our, you know, we lack not knowing about ourselves, our emotion, how we're connected to this world. I feel like I just came here and I'm like, where am I? You know, how do we get here? Who are these people? You say you're my mom, but you know, who am I? Tell me who I am. So I just want children to understand that there's a blueprint. and there is guidance, and you don't have to feel lost because the universe is speaking back to you.
What led you to start writing children's books?
You know what? It was my inner child. I guess it's all that Leo
That's
energy.
a Leo energy, yeah.
I
Yeah.
want to express to children because I love children, I adore them. And I wanted to express to them, as I said, like there are avenues to love yourself. There are avenues to express yourself. There's avenues to not be angry. We can teach meditation, you know, and there's avenues to feel better about yourself if you feel upset. And I just feel as though it's important for the kids to know that, oh, look at that, Princess Sadie in the Dragon Realm. Oh
Wow.
God, that's the ninth house book.
More dragons.
The ninth house book.
Oh, that is so nice. But at least the dragons have smiley faces near them.
Yes, that's more of a girly book.
Oh, I love that. I love that. And you know what? I love what you're doing. It's something that I feel like we very much need in our community,
Mm,
us teaching us and
yeah.
our children about things that they don't even get to learn about in school.
Mhm.
Um, a lot of times it depends on where you're raised. And I told you how in my earlier childhood, we didn't know about astrology or any of that stuff much because it was something that nobody really spoke about.
Mm,
But we can start teaching our children older and let them grow up to make their own decisions,
mhm,
based upon the books that we read them and the information that they give, what we
mhm,
give them, they'll figure out,
mhm,
what is best for them. And I can especially see, I see this for children of
mhm.
all ages, but you were talking about how difficult it has to be about for Pisces children. I
Yeah.
have a Pisces child,
Mm,
so I kind of understand it,
mhm,
so knowing that there were books like these that could help break down certain information,
mhm.
then it would probably have made his spiritual journey a whole lot easier.
Yeah.
So kudos for doing that.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I just think that in children, I mean, mothers and sisters, we don't have all the tools, but we do have a tool, and that is the wisdom from us, you know, and sometimes they don't listen. Sometimes my children
Sometimes, keep it real. Sometimes,
themselves
sometimes or all the time.
all the time.
Okay, we will
They
keep
listen.
it honest.
But if you show them like about themselves, if you help them learn more about them than about me or about you, I feel the focus comes on them, and then they feel like there's someone, and not always, you know, you know what I'm saying? I just want to empower children to feel whole by themselves, you know, and not that they're going to feel whole without the mother, but to know that there are these avenues of expression, and you don't always have to sit in anger. There's nature, there's a reflection, there's so many different things. And, you know, dealing with the Pisces energy, that's kind of what made me write the books, because it's, I'm a Pisces rising, and I started to truly understand that the expression is how you get you make things tangible. You know what I'm saying? You're expressing yourself through creativity, through poetry. And so, you know, it's just important for us to help our children and give them the tools to thrive, not survive, to thrive in life. Mm-hmm.
And it makes me think about too, a lot of times it goes wrong because of what you said about the ninth house in Sagittarius. We preaching to them what you
Mm-hmm.
should be learning, or you need to know this, and they automatically are not going to listen because they don't want to hear that. And so they need other avenues. And that's what you have done through your children's books. So that is so amazing. That is so amazing. In fact, this whole interview today was amazing. You got really deep with all of the sun sign and the houses. I really enjoyed it. I'm excited for you to come back for the next visit.
Oh, me too. I love this. This is beautiful. I felt
Thank
so at peace.
you.
I love this show. This is so Leo. Like, I swear it's so Leo. Like,
Thank you.
that is alignment. That is alignment.
And you know what? I can definitely feel it when I mingle with Leo people. That's when the Leo starts coming out.
Yeah. Other than that, I bet you just like very calm and focused.
Nerve.
Child comes to play. I know. It happens as you mature, I guess. I just allow my inner child to come out to play because we're talking about children's books. But normally I'm very calm. It's like,
That's the excuse she gives us. Okay, do we believe that? Are we gonna believe it? I know you. So
stop, don't tell him.
I won't. I won't. So thinking about the conversation we had today,
Mm-hmm.
what astrology revealed to me is that there is no coincidence, really, for our life. A lot of things happen in our life, and we just think about, oh, why did this happen?
Mm-hmm.
This is coincidental. But when we look at our astrology charts, even the placements, a lot of things we can see because there were things that you brought up, especially one of the things that really stood out to me is you were like, well, for those who have Mercury in the third house, they may have difficulty with communication in their childhood. And
Mm-hmm.
so I'm thinking about how a lot of times when we can't explain something, we automatically say it's coincidence. But when we look at the alignment of our astrology and
Mm-hmm.
our numerology, it lets us know that nothing happens coincidentally.
Absolutely.
There's a purpose with everything that happens to us in our life.
That's
So,
true.
what did astrology reveal to you today, Goddess?
Astrology revealed to me that it's in everybody. Everyone is an astrologer, even kids, even ants, even plants. Like everything has a genetic makeup, everything has a code to it, you know? Anything can be unlocked, and it's up to us, you know, as I said, as we talk back and forth, we're unlocking things in each other, you know, even going so deep, as I said, to the sun signs, and we're talking about us and our personality. So it just reveals to me like there's an astrologer in all of us. There's a researcher, there's a wanna know or a teacher or something in all of us. And we're all just looking to connect, to learn, and to go higher. And so I just like astrology is amazing. Thank you. Thank you for having me here.
You're welcome. Thank you for coming. All my pleasure. All my pleasure. Thank you so much for coming, giving us all of this wisdom and knowledge. It is truly priceless. It is something that we can hold on to and something that we can definitely use to help us grow in our own lives. So,
I, I hope so. And I do. Would you like to say anything else? Because when you said it shows to me like everything is not a coincidence, I felt that deeply. I was just like, wow, that resonated with me deeply. That's why I always listen to you talk, Kimberly, because the things that you say, it touches me. Not in a way where it's like, you know, I'm touched, but almost like I hear it when I need to, you know? And that's just beautiful. Like when you said, I was like, you're right. Everything is not, it doesn't. Yes. So yes, I'm sorry, Kimberly. I just had to say that was a powerful, like, you know, even inclination, like realizing that. That was a nice one.
I was going to ask you, do you have any closing words?
That was my closing words. I love that. And I'm so happy. I can't wait to come back to the show and see what else we're going to talk about on our Leo duo.
You know it, but we got to behave ourselves next time, okay? We got to be good.
We got to talk about the lower planets, not the powerful, shiny ones. We got to talk about the calm ones.
Yeah, we got to be calm next time. It'll work for a good 2 seconds and then we'll be done.
At it. This was so fun. Very
Thank
revealing.
you so much.